who comes and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good afternoon. Hey, I didn't lose any more viewers. Things are not what they're right on this. Okay. Good morning. Happy Saturday. Let's darn it. There it is. But yeah. Happy Saturday and stuff. You might hear my little heater going. It's not very quiet. I'm going to turn it off soon because it's getting warm in here. I used to be one of those guys where it didn't matter what the temperature was. I was wearing shorts. Now I have to bundle in the middle of summertime. All right, we're done sharing. Been having some ideas this morning. I know I want to do the house, but yeah, I just got some thoughts on my mind. I put it. Did I put it in here? I did not. That's part of the problem. Live now. That'll help a little bit, maybe. I'm gonna wait a little bit. Get some people here. Oh, it said one for a second. Seeing somebody's trying to watch. Put that over there. Should we go with that one or that one? I like the blue one. That's my preferred one, but a lot of people seem to like this one. I have others. Actually. Here's another one. Go ahead and add it. Ding. There's another one. I had to upload it first. Here's another one. I have a fourth one. I have four. I actually have a total of 6 logos. There's my other one. I had 2 more. That one never shows up. It's there, though. It's right there. It's not how it's supposed to look. Let's open this one, too. No, it's black and white. Let's see. Doesn't work. All right, let's get rid of that one. Let's go with this one today. Now let's go with blue because this is a happier one. It's happy. So, all right. Let's go do introductions, kind of get started. I'm sure some people will start to show up. I think we got some people, but I'm not sure. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I will be your host today. This is the big book that I use for sponsoring. And I try to take care of it because I may need it a long time. So this is the book that I use. Why was I muted? If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. I just need to make sure my stuff's working okay. There. I should be unmuting everything else. All right. Well, I'll just have to remember that I can't put stuff down heavily on there. All right. Good afternoon, Patricia. You should be able to hear me now. Can you hear me? Yep, it should be working now. Sorry about that. I just had to test it. So, back to basics. What is back to basics? I say this sometimes and people are like, what do you mean back to basics? All right. I don't know what is it with my heater, but yeah, you press stop and it counts down. It's like, no, just turn off now. I don't need you to count down for 15 seconds. Just turn off. But what is back to basics? Well, steps 1, 2, and 3. You know, sometimes we don't have the best day or whatever, and we need to stop and restart our day, or maybe it's just a day where 1, 2, and 3 is about all we can manage or handle. You know, I think the hardest part about all this is probably keeping it simple. Hello, kitten. Where'd you go? What's up? What's up, meow? You gonna give me a meow? Sawyer? You're the most talky one now. You're making a fool out of me. Give me a meow. Meow? Come here. Come here. What's up? Come here. Don't go running. Don't go running. You wanted love. Come here. He doesn't like being picked up, but he loves love. Once he's on my lap, he's okay. All right. Back to basics, huh? Oh, my little good kitty. You are. He's a good cat. Why would we go back to basics? Well, you know, actually what this is just me reading chapter 5. So maybe we should just get to it. Yeah. Should we just get to it, Mama? She's like, well, that depends. Will you stop? Are you going to stop petting me? Because if so, then no, I don't want you to read it. It was Jack. He usually hisses at Jack. So, all right. I'm going to do the best I can. My book's not open to that part like the other book. So, all right. Cool. Works for me, dude. Works for me. So now we're just going to go ahead and go to the big book. We're going to go to page 58, right? 58, yeah. I always get it mixed up with 52. That's where the bedevilments are. Jack, come here. Come here. Jack thinks his name's... Oh, he left. Watch this, Hello, CJ. Good morning to you, Miss Clara Joyce. Good morning, Miss Amber Rose and Patricia and Ingrid. I think my granddaughters might be driving my daughter crazy because I taught them when they were over this week. I'm like, Harry Potter. It gets addictive to say, so I know my youngest probably walk around to everybody, Harry Potter. Let's get started. Let's get this party started. All right, chapter 5, how it works. Rarely have we seen a person fail who has thoroughly followed our path. And what is the path? Well, it's the 12 steps. Thoroughly followed that path. Your path's going to be different than ours. It's not going to look the same as mine. It's going to be different. So I just want to give that comfort now, right? What does back to basics kind of kind of do for us? Well, it reminds us why we're doing what we're doing. This guy came up because I was writing up some suggested rules. You can't really have rules in AA for the grassroots meeting, all right? And it's what I did is I just went back to basics. Yeah, really did. I was noticing a lot of things in Zoom meetings that the parking lot meeting, it's still the meeting. So I think breakout rooms might be plausible in that situation. But here we are again. Rarely have we seen a person fail who has thoroughly followed our path, and it's true. Yeah, but Dion, what about all those statistics? Statistics used to be solid. Anymore, like when I see, only 2% of people in A make it, I'm sorry, but NA would not be around if only 2% made it. It just wouldn't be able to survive. You wouldn't even know what it was if only 2% made it. Okay? So don't get caught up in statistics. Don't be a statistic. They are only there so we can see what the needs are for a community. For me, that's really what it is. All right? The only statistic I give a fuck about is the fact that Colorado's dead last. Right? Okay. But that's not... those who do not recover are people who cannot or will not completely give themselves to this simple program. Yeah, it's hard. We're almost making a demand there, aren't we? And it is. It's a simple program. It's got to be simple. Okay? Because if it's not, my mind will take it and it'll go off. See, nice and simple doesn't usually have loopholes in them. It's when things get big and have a lot of rules. Yeah. That's when it gets weird and out of control. Okay. Just like, like our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety, right? And we've got to take that very literally, right? I'm just going to use this as an example. I really don't mind that addicts are in AA. It doesn't bother me. Because some people are cross-addicted. Yeah, sure they are. There's a lot of cross-addiction. There's a lot. A lot of people in AA are also in OA. That's probably a lot of people in NA are in AA, and a lot of people in AA are also in NA. There's some of us that go to ACA, Al-Anon. But that is a lane, and that lane is what needs to be talked about there. Yeah. I don't even mind if you say, my name's Dion, I'm an alcoholic and addict. Okay, but put that alcohol first. Okay. You will get usually men and women who are constitutionally incapable of being honest with themselves. What does constitutionally incapable mean? Let's find out. You guys are probably going to put it in there before. Oh, no, because I got a lag. What does constitutionally incapable mean? Tulsa, what does it mean to be? Let's go to the Collins Dictionary. We're constitutionally incapable of doing such a thing. I'm constitutionally incapable of a real job. Okay, this is not helping me here. So constitutionally means relating to a particular country or incapable. Someone who is incapable of doing something or unable to do it. Okay, we'll try another one. What mental illnesses are unconstitutionally incapable? Goes right to AA. It doesn't. Okay. The core that I finally got, what does it mean? See, I told you always got to dig because they just want to give you the answers that they want you to have. So always do a little digging now. Constitutionally mean at the core of one's own individual. self. Honest, as we know, as being honest with self or in reference to constitutionally incapable of being honest with self would mean at the core being one is not able to see the truth about themselves. Okay. Denial. There we go. Keep it simple. Thanks, Bill, for that long word. So denial. They are naturally, they seem to, but they are, so usually men and women who are in deep denial of being honest with themselves. See? All right. There are such unfortunates. They are not at fault. They seem to have been born that way. That's right. Yeah. And what was the truth? Because it says we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. For most people, it's that second part. It's the second part. Being an alcoholic was okay. I understand. I have a mental illness. Okay, I get that. Yet, wait a minute here. But my life's not unmanageable. There's the constitutionally incapable. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to page 52 for a second. We had to ask ourselves why we shouldn't apply our human problems to the same readiness to change our point of view. We're having trouble with personal relationships. We couldn't control our emotional natures. We were prey to misery and depression. We couldn't make a living. We had a feeling of uselessness. We were full of fear. We were unhappy. We couldn't seem to be of real help to other people. It didn't say anything about living on Skid Row. It didn't say anything about a brown paper bag. Didn't say anything about 2 cars in the garage. It didn't say anything about functioning. Okay. And this is opinion only. Actually, it's clinical. There's no such thing as a functioning alcoholic. That's an oxymoron. It does. The whole point of alcoholism is being out of control, is unfunctioning. And I just read them, but I had 2 cars in the garage and that's not functioning. So what? That's called autopilot for some people. Right? Hey, we all got to sacrifice what we think that we are and our own worth so that we can be in AA. It's part of the death of my old self. There is no greater than or lesser than. And a functioning alcoholic or somebody that states that they were a functioning alcoholic, okay? Well, I got good news. You're now a functioning alcoholic. But you cannot be a functioning alcoholic without recovery. Okay? We cannot be termed unique. And do not think that I have not done that shit before myself. These are mistakes that I have made in the program. Batman was my first higher power until my sponsor said, Dion, I love the fact that you're trying to do this program, but you need to grow the fuck up. I needed to hear it that way. I'm not going to approach you that way, okay? So I was naturally incapable of grasping and developing a manner of living which demands rigorous honesty. I couldn't grasp it. I didn't know. I didn't know how. Nope. I've been repeating this a lot lately, which is, I was born a liar. I thought I was being honest. I did. I thought I was being honest. That was the frustrating part about it. I was just following what everybody else was. And I knew you were lying, but I figured that's what we do. Who was lying to me? Well, my parents lied to me all the fucking time. 70s were different. How are you supposed to tell the truth when children are supposed to be seen and not heard? I remember once I told my parents I wanted to be a ballerina, and they laughed at me and all their friends. Yeah. At that age, I would have been really good. Now I'd just be a flop. Yeah. I thought dancing was great. I was more into the arts and things like that. I can't draw very well, but I'm more of an artsy person. Yeah. I'd rather have a handmade gift than a nice watch. I don't need a watch. Besides, I did so much electrical work that watches tend to not work unless they're wound. Their their chances are less than average compared to what? Compared to what though? Okay, let's not get into statistics. Okay, if my chances are less than average, and what I'm going to do is compare that to non-alcoholics. How about that? Because at least it's like a huge group of people that are maybe doing the right thing. Not sure. Okay. There are those two who suffer from grave emotional mental disorders, but many of them do recover if they have the capacity to be honest. Why is that? Because every mental illness starts with every mental illness starts with one thing: denial. Why? Why do we deny it? Because that separates us from our peers, and we don't want that. Because I'm not the leader in that. If I was the leader, maybe it might be a little different. But since I'm a follower in this situation, yeah. So what is it? It's the capacity to be honest. When my depression came up, I denied it. When my anxiety came up, I denied it. When my PTSD came up, I not only denied it, I fought. I yelled. I screamed. What was it? It was PTSD. But once I came to terms with it, I was able to do something about it. Well, I was able to do that with alcoholism. So why not apply the same readiness? Okay. Now I'm 8 years sober. I'm still diagnosed, but I am not on any meds. I'm not on any Western meds that affects my depression, my anxiety, or my PTSD. I'm a free man most days. Some days it still gets me. I'm that human being, remember? I'm that human being human. So, but I'm going to tell you, okay, people with grave emotional mental disorders that work through those become our greatest leaders. Look at all the stuff Bill wrote about with his mental illnesses. Yeah. Yeah. He wrote books about it. What's the difference? What's the difference between the books that Bill wrote and the books coming out now? Bill did not take one red fucking cent for the books that he wrote. That's the big difference. Stop writing your fucking books. Actually, let me rephrase that. I'm looking at writing a book, and it's called Coming Home, or actually Finding Home. I have no plans on selling it. I'm just going to give it away. It's how I am. It will come back around to me. I don't even know if I'm going to end up writing it. I got a lot of things going on. But I think I finally hit my mark. I think I hit the mark on what I'm going to do. Everything is still going to happen. But I'm finding that there's another step that needs to be taken before the sober livings open up. Before I open up my sober livings. And that is that AA needs to be secured a little bit more. It was clear to me this morning. So, all right, our stories disclose in a general way what we used to be like, what happened, what we're like now. If you have decided you want what we have and you are willing to go to any length to get it, then you're ready to take certain steps. All right. So I still haven't brought up what the basics are. Sorry about that. It is the how of the program. Honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. That's what we've been talking about here. So far, we've talked about honesty and willingness. You know, it's kind of like the saying, I would die for my kids. Okay, well, you're an alcoholic. You're already dying for them. Because drinking is what we call suicide on the installment plan. That's what we call that. So the question is, and the harder part really is, would you get well for your kids? Are you willing to put some effort into you so that your kids can have a better life? I guess turning it on was how that worked. Sorry. I've got a heater in here. I'm tired of being fucking cold. So it's just part of getting older. So our stories disclose in a general way. Okay. That's how we tell our stories. Yeah. Okay. Now, did you know, and it's not a requirement, but this is what we used to do. Oh, Dion, your birthday's coming up. Where are you speaking? Oh, I'm going over to blah, blah club. Yep. You're supposed to stand up in front of everybody and tell your story. Why? Why are you supposed to do that on your birthdays? It's part of the 12th step in giving it away. Otherwise, why the fuck is it even in chapter 5? How would they tell you how to tell your story at a speaker meeting unless it was in there? And if you have not told your story yet, you might feel a little incomplete. It can be fucking scary. I know. All right, I'm going to tell you something. A lot of you folks already know this about me, but by nature, I'm shy. Yep. But there's something about talking in front of a group of people that just excites the fuck out of me. When I was 18 years old, I was in a place called the Phoenix Concept, and I was living on Skid Row. I became a part of this team called the Westside Drug Free Youth Team. We were a prevention team. I was allowed to work. Most of them weren't because they'd been living on the streets I've been on the streets for about 6 months. I'd lived on Skid Row for about 6 months, right? The blah, 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 blah. Thanks, Amber. All right, we always need a little fun in here. Did you? I know you did. I know you did because you went. I didn't say you didn't. Gosh. But if it's harder and you don't want to stand in front of a bunch of people, come on, go find a podcast of somebody that doesn't charge for their podcast. It doesn't need to be me. But you'll find that the people that don't charge for their podcast are usually the better hosts because it's not about them. It's all about you, which is what it should be. Why? Because I take it like an AA meeting. I'm the audience. Am I not? Yes, I am. Right? And I do a lot of cool things, right? Amber, I always like doing those with you. We did those 5 simple suggestions and it fucking took off. So just like I tell my daughter, Amber, you're going to help a lot of fucking people. You're going to help more people than I have. I know these things. I just know them. It's from studying people a long time. So if you want to do that, and I'm more than happy to have you on my show. You already know that. So anybody here is welcome. See, there you go. Okay. Keeping it in the families, right? At some of these we balked. A few of you already know what I'm going to do here. Balk, 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 balk. We balked at them. Let's find out the definition of balk. Definition of balking.
Here's the definition of Balkan. Relating to the Balkan Mountains or to the countries occupying the part of South.
Went to the ball. Let's just go with balking. Hesitate or be unwilling to accept an idea. All right. So balking is the opposite of willingness. It is unwillingness, which I don't think is a word. That's why we have balk. No, I am unwilling. Yeah, no, that's a word. It's a word. So at some of these, we were not willing. We thought we could find an easier, softer way. Here's the kicker. We thought we could find an easier, softer way, but we could not. I mean, millions of alcoholics came before us, and they tried all these easier, softer ways to come back and say, no, they don't work. And that includes all the bullshit going on today. I looked it up. Sobriety is the number 3 fad. Yep. It's a fad. You know, you see all these mocktail things. I'm just talking with a person on Instagram, and I straight out, I said, you know what, these things are dangerous. This stuff for some of us is life or death. So please explain to me how mocktails are helping alcoholics. This is a serious question, and thank you. Because I'm curious. Maybe I don't know something. Maybe there's something that I'm not aware of about the brain and the signals that it sets you in certain situations. Okay? If you are a big vodka drinker, V8 might be a trigger for you. And when you tell your brain, even with non-alcoholic beer, and you're giving it that satisfaction, what would that be? That would be the easier, softer way. Now, there's some people that like fancy frou-frou drinks. Great. But they don't have to be called mocktails. That's the problem. Yeah. When I drink V8, and I didn't do it a lot, but my brain it's still waiting for that hot part going down, the vodka. It's my brain. And what is that? That's a trigger. That is really walking a thin line. Okay, so you're going to go hang out at a bar that looks like a bar, feels like a bar, but it's not really a bar. It's a sober bar, which in and of itself is an oxymoron. Maybe instead, go help another person. Red Bulls, yes. As soon as you said that, Jaeger came into my mind. It is the only time my brain associates something with Red Bull. Jaeger, yes. That nice drop shot Jaeger, yeah, I love those. I used to call it an awake drunk, right? But we could not. And I know I get it because I'm a pretty fucking smart person too. I couldn't find an easier and I don't know that this is the easier, softer way. When it comes to alcoholism, I don't know that there is an easy, softer way, an easy, soft way. I don't know that it works. I don't know. But I do know this. I've been around this program for 35 years, and I've met hundreds of thousands of alcoholics. And I know I have not seen another new way. There's even a place called A New Solution. I put it on there. I'm like, we have the solution. We don't need another solution. And the solution will fucking be everything that you wanted. We're going to actually give you everything that you fucking... Didn't you get everything you fucking wanted when you got here? A person that actually would listen to you, people that fucking cared, a place to fit in because I didn't fit in anywhere else. You got it. You sure did. Amber says, now when I drink them, I feel hyped up. I'm going to have a heart attack. Yeah, I can't drink them. If you have heart disease in your family, do not drink those energy drinks. Do not. Okay? So yeah, what do they say? You can go if you have a reason for being there. A mocktail is not a reason to be there. Nope. Mocktails are for people who are non-alcoholic who don't want to drink anymore. And good for them. Good for them. I'm proud of them. But for some of us, this shit's life and death, man. To them, it's just an inconvenience. To us, we will destroy our whole fucking house over a case of beer. Big difference. I think a few of my friends I've seen this is like, you like to party. I like to party till everybody's dead. We're not the same, man. Remember that we deal with alcohol. And this is, I think we should put the ism in there. Remember that we deal with alcoholism. That's the cunning, baffling, powerful part. Alcohol can't do that to you. It's an inanimate object. That's like saying, this pen ruined my life. No, I ruined my life with alcohol. Now, the unfortunate part for me is that alcohol was so addictive for me mentally that it became a physical addiction. Without help, it is too much for us, but the one is has all power. That one is God. Half measures availed us nothing. We stood at the turning point. We asked his protection and care with complete abandon. Okay, we just covered steps 1, 2, and 3. And that is very much the basics of Alcoholics Anonymous. Honesty, number one, it's got to be the number one thing. And it is not, and in the beginning, it is not an outward honesty. It has got to be internal. All right? And what is the first honest thing that I went through was, I don't fucking know anymore. With all the intelligence and everything that I have, I guess I am an alcoholic and I got to go back to AA. I had 12 years of sobriety at one point. I would actually have 37 years of sobriety if I did not relapse. So what? I'm going to skip the 12 steps because I think you probably know them. And if I start reading them, then I will describe each single step. And this thing will turn into 2 hours. So you're probably like, that's fine with me. Many of us exclaimed, what an order. I can't go through with it. Do not be discouraged. No one among us has been able to maintain anything like perfect adherence to these principles. That's a perfect example, Amber. It's like blaming this pen for stabbing me in the eye when I did it. Good. Wait, I love you guys because we always take things a little bit more, right? It's like the thing went around. It's like, you want to know what addiction is like? Put your phone down for 24 hours. That's not even close. That's an inconvenience. No, don't let them off that easy. No. All right. You cannot touch your phone for 24 hours. But I've given you free will, and you're allowed to look at your phone if you want to, but it's going to cost you every time. The first time, you're going to lose time of your own life. The next time, you lose your job. The next time, you're going to lose your car. Next one, you lose your house. Then your kids. Now we're talking, and then still that isn't even it. All right. Now, fifth time is nobody's going to talk to you now. Everybody in your life is disgusted with you. They hate you, even though they're begging you to change and put away that phone. Would you just put away that phone? Every time you pick it up, another family member dies. Could you please stop? Well, I can't help myself. I need to see if I got likes and loves. See? Now we're starting to get to it. All right. We are not saints. The point is that we are willing to grow along spiritual lines. That's the direction there. That we're willing to grow along spiritual lines. It didn't say I had to, but you're going to find that once you get a couple of those gifts, that you're going to want to. It's kind of a trick. It's kind of a bait and switch. I don't give a fuck. It means you're going to have a better life. I'll bait and switch you all day. It isn't really, but if I'm going to talk in our stuff, yeah, it's going to feel that way. To warn people, I always warn my sponsees, hey, you're going to be absolutely wrong about everything for the next few months. Just be okay with it because you're learning a new way. Oh, well, shit. Well, you're the one that puts out the... And it's in an hour. You got an hour. If it's the new meeting I'm thinking about, maybe it's a different meeting. Either way, I'll see you there. Okay, that makes more sense. I can't go through it. So we are not saying the principles we have set down are guides to progress. We claim spiritual progress. Just cross out the other part of the line. Because it's a direction there, but we alcoholics, it's like consequences, right? Your stomach automatically went to bad feeling just because I said that word. Okay, well, our brains do certain things because they're on auto mode, right? So when I say we claim spiritual progress, our mind, it does it in my mind too. It says rather than spiritual perfection, but we need to be able to, we need to claim spiritual progress. And it's in the 10th step. Not everything is done in red ink. Okay. There's some people that argue this point with me. They're usually younger and have low self-esteem. This is the way it works. Good job, Dion. See, I got 3 Pats because of my name. If my name's a little bit longer, then, good job, Shin. But just do the K and then done. You're done. You don't have to sit in it, but claim it. You're claiming it. It didn't say revel in it. It didn't say brag about it. It didn't say go online and tell everybody how great of a person you are. No, that is not what it says. Okay. The description of the alcoholic, the chapter of the agnostics, and our personal adventures before and after make clear 3 pertinent ideas. By the way, this shouldn't be A, B, and C. It should be 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, like I'm some such fucking English major or something, right? Yeah, it's probably totally correct. But see how the alcoholic can frustrate. See, the alcoholism can frustrate. Well, because what does it do? See, I have to go out of my way to look for the shit because I'm an alcoholic. A, that we were alcoholic and could not manage our own lives. B, that probably no human power could have relieved our alcoholism. And C, that God could and would if he were sought. All right. So, basics of the program are just like we've always been. Okay. Now, let's correlate these with the principles real quick. Because where those lie in the principles. Okay. See, open-mindedness is not one of the principles. So let's just cover the first 3. Because willingness is the principle of step 6. And that's it's still willingness, but it's for a different reason. Step 1 is honesty. It's got to be. I know our main principle is honesty. Well, how can a lying, shucking, conniving tramp like Dion walk into an AA meeting and be honest? He doesn't know how. Doesn't know how. What's the first thing out of my mouth? My name's Dion and I'm an alcoholic. But I got to believe it inside. I mean, and unless your life is unmanageable, you may not be able to make that admission. But what is unmanageable to you? Heck, when I was 17, I was living on Skid Row. That's pretty fucking unmanageable, I would think. Okay. Step 2 is hope. You're the hope. The meetings are the hope. This is why we do not dump in meetings. It is supposed to be experience, strength, and hope only. It should never be anything more than that or less than that. Step 3 is faith. Find that higher power, no matter how small it is. But what do we use to do that? Well, we use willingness. Okay. Now I see this person. I've been here a couple weeks. I see that person's kind of changed, and I can do that too. And encouragement brings a lot of hope. How else can you bring hope? Tell your story. Storytelling is the #1 way to provide hope. That's why all the stories are in the back. We don't change the first 164 pages. We change the stories to fit what's going on now. That's the way it's always been. So when it says, you know, when it talks about those, it doesn't matter. All right, you go to 7-Eleven. I hope everybody has a great day. We'll see some of you at the noon. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. When you're having a bad day, there's nothing wrong with going back to basics. Nothing wrong with it. In fact, it's a great place to be. It really is. All right. I love you. Peace out.